What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Sal, aka Herf, and guess who's fashionably late to the Dunbarton party? Your boy. Without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. We're gonna be looking at the Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust Solita Red. Let's just get into it.
Welcome to the Herf where the vibes take place. No clouds of hate, just a smoke well jerks. One cigar at a time, go and savor every taste. Shine through the brim, man, humble in the quest.
Alright, y'all, so here we are. Sobremesa Solita Red, fashionably late. What can I say? It's your boy. It's been marinating. I saw it, felt like it was a good time. But just to get into this just a little bit, because I'm sure a lot of you already know when this thing released, when this dropped, they were highly sought after, I guess I could say. But went to a local B&M, and I mean, they're still on shelf, so not sure what that kind of tells you. But this is a 6 1/4 by 46 parejo, which to my understanding just means round. And it's an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper. It's got the San Andres Negro binder, and then it's got Nicaraguan and I believe it's Pennsylvanian broadleaf filler in here. Well, my understanding is these are aged a little bit longer. They're built with a little more punch to them, and it's definitely got a little bite to it. It's very heavy on the cedar right now, kind of a bitter coffee, a little bit of a nuttiness, but overall it's nice. I'm not sensing any true sweetness right about now, but again, we're just barely getting warmed up here. Retro has a nice little cedar spice bite to it. Not too bad. I will say this is the first sobremesa that I've had from Dunbarton. I haven't had any of the brulees or anything like that, so kind of jumping into this one, no real expectations. Now, I am a fan of Dunbarton. I love the polpetta, short little chopped filler guy. Can't go wrong with that. Tons of flavor. And then as well as the umbagog. I haven't got a chance to try the new umbagog. I believe it's the Robusto. I think it's a 5x52. Haven't tried it out. I know a couple local BDMs, oof. A couple local B&Ms have that in stock, so I'll probably pick that up at a later date. I'll probably just smoke that and put that one on the gram. But so far, so good. I'm gonna let the tobacco warm up on this. I'm gonna get well into the first third, and then I'll check back in with y'all. Stay with me. Alright, y'all, so we are well into that first third of the Dunbarton Sobremesa Solita Red. And as you can see, great burn line, solid construction with that ash holding on. Really no complaints in that department. Nice open draw, and really plenty of smoke. I mean, single draw, you don't have to draw it a couple times in order to get a great smoke output. So if that's kind of your thing, that kind of tells you you're smoking a good cigar, you're gonna be happy with that. But as we are well into that first third, let me just tell you what notes are kind of reminding me of. So I'm picking up on some cedar, again, that bitter coffee. There's a bit of a toasted bread note to it, and then I'm picking up a little bit of baking spice on there, and then there is a little bit of sweetness. And with that sweetness, it's almost almost like a honey, I would say. I am getting a little bit of herbal, so like I don't know if it's like a honey with like a tea type thing. That's kind of what I'm getting. Not bad at all. I'm actually enjoying it. And on the retro, I'm getting a spiced, almost sweet cedar. But so far, so good. I'm digging it. I'm actually digging the size and the ring gauge. I know I've mentioned before when I've smoked like the Lanceros, I did the Riviera, I think that was a 44. Excuse me. I did the Sancho Hotel Antra. I forget the ring gauge, but that was a smaller ring gauge. And I think I did another one. What was the other one I did? I forget. But it's comfortable in the hand, and it's performing phenomenally. So, I mean, I know I'm a big boy with big gorilla hands, and usually tend to go to the 50, 52, 54s. Every now and then I'll have a 60, but this is smoking quite fine. Like I said, I picked this bad boy up when they dropped. I actually picked up a couple of them. I gifted one to my buddy, and it's just been chilling. I've just kind of just been going. When I pass a local B&M, I'll pick a couple online orders, and it's just been getting buried. That's just kind of the nature of this hobby and enthusiast life, I guess you can say. I smoke 1 to 2 maybe a week, and then I'll buy 10 in 1 week. So glad I'm kind of visiting this. The very, very first live or podcast I did with the New Wave boys, I ended up smoking the bronze back, and that put me on to Dunbarton. And since then, I've messed with the the bronze backed, the just the regular silver labeled Umbagog. It's got the silver lettering, and then got introduced to Pulpetta, which is, for the price point, smoke time, and flavor, that thing is banger. So I picked up a couple of those at a local B&M. We're in passing. We're down in like the Dallas area, or Dallas-Fort Worth, I guess you could say, borderline. Stumbled across a cool little B&M, happened to walk in, and was kind of blowing them out, so I picked up a couple from there. So that's kind of my experience with the Dunbarton line. I'll have to jump on the Brulés, the Blues, the Tricky Tracas, and things like that. So I am late to the Dunbarton party. But hey, we're fashionably late. That's what we do. There's so many things out there to try. It's kind of hard to keep up. Lately, I've been finding myself trying to keep up with the Joneses, and then I just told myself, like, you just can't. So we'll get to them when we get to them. I definitely do have some latest releases. I just picked up some of the new tatuajes and things like that. So we'll get to them. They're there. I've got them. Whether they end up on a review here or they end up on the Instagram, you may never know. So you always want to stay tuned to that. If you don't have the Instagram, it's 8.herf. I'm going to continue smoking this down. We're going to get into the second, third. I'm going to report back on any changes. Hang with me, y'all. Stay with me, y'all. And I'll see you in a little bit. All right, y'all. So welcome back as we get into the second, third of this Solita Red here. And one thing that you cannot fault is the construction on at least the Dunbartons that I've smoked. The Umbagogs, the Pulpettas, and I forgot one. I did smoke a Paladin, and that was a tasty something. That one was tasty. But transferring over to the Solita Red, great construction, great burn line. Is it razor sharp? No, but it's damn near razor sharp. Draw has been super consistent, hasn't gotten tight, hasn't gotten any looser, and the smoke production all the way through up to this point has been phenomenal. So what I can say is that from the first third to second third, the flavors are much more robust, they're much more pronounced. You can definitely pick it out a little bit more. Flavors kind of danced around a little bit. Still picking up some cedar. I get this ebb and flow of a honey. It's not super consistent, so sometimes it's there, and then when you kind of least expect it, it's there, and that's kind of nice. I kind of dig that, kind of like that ebb and flow that I'm talking about. There's a bready note, and I will say that this cigar is definitely sitting more on the savory side. Not so much sweet. This is definitely a savory cigar. Almost a bit of a umami. I mentioned earlier kind of like an herbal. Still kind of get that, and I've been trying to pick through my head what it may be. I just had lunch that had some white mushrooms in it. I would like to say it's sitting along those lines. Best I'm going with is umami. And then on the retro, I'm definitely getting a cedar, but there's a little bit of bleed of that honeyness, and then there's that breadiness to it. Again, there's breadiness on the palate as well. So all in all, I'm actually kind of digging this cigar. Something I would reach for if I wanted something savory, not so much on the sweeter side. But I'm digging it. I also remember that I do have a Mi Querida Black in Papasaco. So we may visit that. I don't know if it'll make a review, but I'm definitely gonna visit it. It's definitely a larger big boy. but we'll see what happens with it. But so far, I'll show it to you again. That the band work with the gold and the red background color, I'm actually kind of digging that. It's super simple. There's nothing crazy to it. It's a small band. You know, the band isn't masking the cigar like a whole lot of these other ones do. I don't think I talked about price point. I think when these dropped, I think they were like 16, 17 bucks, right around there. One of my local B&Ms on the way home from work had posted the day they got them in and put them on the shelves, and I remember kind of beelining from work, picking up a couple. And Saka, you all right, my man, you all right. I don't know if the whole portfolio will be for me, but I haven't gone through it, so I can't mention and I can't say that for sure. But so far, everything that I've smoked from you, I'm digging. So kudos to you. I'm gonna keep going. We're getting the final third with a lot of cigars where they tend to take a turn, or they just kind of be consistent, or they may get better. Who the hell knows? All right, y'all, so welcome back. Final thoughts, final third here. We've removed that main band on the Solita Red, and to be honest, this is a great savory cigar. So going into third kind of continues on from the second. So all the notes that we picked up in the second continue on into the third. However, there's a bit more of the herbal tea with a little bit of honey that's kind of stepped forward a little bit. That umami flavor is still there, which I'm kind of liking at this point. I think this is the first cigar that's kind of had that umami kind of carry through at the halfway point all the way to the end and not turn me off. And definitely the spice has kicked up on the retro. So when you make it down this far, forewarning, the spice does pick up. The construction on it has been phenomenal. 0 issues, 0 relights, and a hell of a burn. So what do I think? I think it's a great savory cigar, like I said. It's a Dunbarton. You know, this one definitely had more changes. The Paladin that I smoked had great flavors, but it was a very, very linear cigar. But it was linear enough with the flavor note that I damn near nubbed the damn thing. But back to the tiering system or rating system that I think I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with something called the 8-pound chest. So I'm only gonna do 3. So if we get 1 pound on the chest, you know, it's cool. Glad I tried it. You know, bottom tier, I'm gonna say you get 2 8-pound chests. 2 8 pounds to the chest, and you're looking mid-level. That's going to be your baseline. That's going to be your kind of your, hey, this was great. Keep them in the humidor. Maybe it's a 3 or a 5er. And then if you get 3 8 pounds to the chest, we're talking supreme. Load up, because those are just straight flavor bombs, and they got everything cooking for them. Now again, that's tended to me. Take it with a grain of salt. Hopefully y'all dig it. Hopefully y'all vibe with it. I think it's kind of a cool concept. So for the Dunbarton Solita Red, I'm gonna give this 2 8 chest pounds. It's a great cigar. Savory, umami. Seek them out. See what you think. Let me know down below what you think. If you smoke the Solita Red, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let's get this chat stirring a little bit. Let's get some interactions, and I'll see you on the next one. Stay blessed.
Welcome to the Herf where the vibes take place. No clouds of hate, just a smoke well dressed. One cigar at a time, go and savor every test. Shine through the brim, man, humble in the quest.